Okay, good morning, welcome in. I hate that it's the last time that we get to visit. I wish that we were visiting today under the idea that we were playing at 8:15 tonight in the round of 16, but unfortunately came up a little short last week. William Chrisman at Truman High School, and really frustrating game. Anytime in the season it's a frustrating game, but then at the end of to have it end your season especially makes that to be the case. So up by double digits in the third quarter, had 5 possessions in a row that just turnover, bad shots, missed shots. Got them back in the game, 35-34, and then it was just kind of back and forth from there on out. Had a chance late, got a bucket, had a side out and out of bounds, 9.2, got a bucket late to go up by 1, made a foul in the front court at 0.2 to go. They go 1-2. We go to overtime, still had a chance in overtime. I think the thing that's most frustrating about it is usually in those kind of games we're able to find a way to win. So statistically, 14-0 this year when leading after 3. We were leading after the third quarter, and then in program history we were 115-15 when leading after 3 quarters. So 89% of the time you win. So let's say 9 out of 10. It just stinks that the 1 out of 10 that you don't was that one. So hurt for the guys immensely because of all the time and effort and energy and love they put into it. To have it end and not be able to continue is really kind of, you're still kind of numb about it even a week plus past. So proud of our seniors, proud of what they accomplished, proud of this team, how they represented themselves in our school and our community. And it stinks that it's over. So I'll turn it over to you guys for questions.
All right. What are your emotions after the loss to Chrisman?
I was numb. I was just kind of, I was just numb. Didn't quite know what to say. Didn't know. I knew what happened from an on the court standpoint, but then I couldn't quite figure out how that happened, how we put ourselves in that situation, how we couldn't make a play and overcome. And then I also realized that had some bad luck and had some shots that normally go in from good shooters that didn't. We shot poorly from the foul line. If we make one of them instead of missing 11, if we only missed 9 or 10 of them, and so my emotions were numb. And then at the end, when having to address the team for the last time, I was upset. I was sad because I couldn't get to continue working with those guys, and that was hurtful and sad for me.
Earlier games this season, the boys would come out slow and then regain that energy. Mm-hmm. This last game, the boys came out strong in the first half. You kind of touched on it at the beginning, but what changed in the second half to lead it to becoming a close game?
Yeah. So missing shots that were good shots that we normally make, and that sounds so simple, but we had a possession. We had a 3-stretch possession where we got the exact shot by the exact players we'd want it to be, and it didn't go in. 2 of those 3 possessions on the other end of the floor, they hit shots that were tough shots. We had a couple fouls go against us in close contact and proximity that say they don't blow the whistle on it, or say he misses the initial bucket, it's a 2-shot foul instead of an and-one opportunity. So it was a combination of a lot of things, and then the game just got to the point where then I think we probably tensed up a little bit, got a little tight, and needed to make one more play than we did.
At the end of the fourth quarter, some of the best free throw defense I think we've ever seen out of this team. And going into overtime, what kind of energy was there, and how did they feel going into overtime? Losing the lead, did they still have that energy riding off of them being able to go in overtime because they missed that free throw, or is it more of a down just because they lost that lead?
So I appreciate the joke. Obviously, that's coaching. Free throw defense is obviously something that's coaching. So really a tune question. Here's why I was a little worried. I think that we dodged some things being thrown at us by getting it to go to overtime. And I was relieved and excited that we had 4 more minutes to play because I thought we would be able to really stretch it out and relax a little bit because I thought we performed tight down the stretch. When we came after the fourth quarter and I was talking to the guys on the bench, I didn't see that same relief. I still saw some tension and some worry. Tried to ease it with some words, and we hit a couple shots to start, and I thought, okay, but you could tell there was a little bit of a burden and cloud that they were carrying with them.
Can you give us an idea of what roughly was said after the game in the locker room?
At Truman or when we got back here?
Maybe both, if you can remember roughly.
At Truman, I was just trying to comfort him and console him about losing the game. We were numb. I mean, I don't want to say we were in shock because we respected our opponent and knew they were fully capable of beating us. But then when it actually happened, it's kind of like, wow. The other thing is, I can prepare in a lot of instances, maybe a remark or a direction that I want to tone, that I want to take something with, but you don't prepare your end-of-season speech because you don't plan on losing. But then when we got back here, it was emotional just because of the fact that, like, as you close something, right, the uncertainty about where you're going and not having the opportunity to continue on is just, it's emotional. If you invest as much as these guys and our staff invests, which people do in different ways of their life, either in other sports and teams here, at clubs and activities. I don't know if you saw the play last weekend, but there's another example of the investment that goes on here. You guys do it in your personal lives and jobs and families. It hurts, and it hurt a lot, especially when you got 8 seniors, 10 if you count your managers. Those 10 guys have been with you for 4 years and gone through a lot together. So that makes it very emotional. Does for me.
With having 3 seniors on the Alldistrict team and potentially Robbie being on the All-State team, how proud do you feel of those 3 individuals as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, and they're very deserving. All-Conference will come out here in a little bit, Garrett, and I'd like to think we'll have some guys in the running for that as well. Really, really proud of them. Proud of the performances that they had. They're deserving of those accolades. The thing about our All-District team is, there's some really good individual players in there. And then when you look at what will eventually come out once we start voting on our All-Conference team, I mean, our conference has some terrific players. That's something that even though the season's over and we don't get to continue to play, they get to take with them, and it's an award and honor that's very deserving.
So in the last press conference, you said that you set a goal for the senior class for them as freshmen, and I don't exactly remember what that was, but will you answer that now as the season comes to a conclusion?
Just about the seniors?
Well, I'll read the full question.
Yeah.
Last press conference, we asked you if the senior class had met the goals you set for them as freshmen.
Gotcha.
Will you answer that now as the
Gotcha.
season comes to a conclusion?
Our goals are unique and different every year with teams and what you think you can accomplish. But I think what these guys accomplished is something that they'll be forever able to take with them is the deep, meaningful relationships, the memories that they form together, the experiences that they've been able to go through. They get to take that with them. And I think that they leave satisfied in a lot of those areas. That's very rewarding for me. But we haven't had 22 weeks or one season to get some plans and mottos and themes across. We've had 8 years to do it, and what I'm most proud of with this group is the principles of who we are, of how we like to carry ourselves and run our program. I think these guys exuded those, and I'm very, very proud of them for that. I'll wrap it up. Obviously, this is tough to be able to not go forward with the guys and play more and talk more about it, but this weekly press conference is a great way for me to be able to connect with, obviously, you all, but then also, our players, our parents, alumni, community, people interested in the program. And so I appreciate all the time and effort that y'all and Ms. Higgins, Mr. Knoll, and everybody puts into making this thing run, because while it's something that you do as part of your day, it's something that's really important for our program and the way that we're able to connect and build relationships and spread kind of our brand and who we are. So I'm very appreciative of it. I hope it was informative at different points in the season. I hope that it was something that you guys look forward to. I know it's something that I did. So weeks will go by. We'll have a couple seasons in the spring and the fall that'll go by, and then we'll be talking in November, and you guys will be wanting to know what Team 9's got in store and who that's going to be and how we're going to play and all that. And know that between now and the next time we talk, there's going to be a lot of work that goes into making sure that we can continue to have success. And I'm looking forward to working with a new group of guys to do that. But mindful and very, very proud of and appreciative of all the things that the 10 seniors that we're losing have done. So I'll manage that. It's bittersweet, but I know that it goes on, and we'll continue to push on as hard as we can. So appreciate all your time and effort to this, and we'll talk to you in November.